people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Okay, and now it's time for our weekend recap. We're going to kick it off with the heavyweight contest between fan favorite Dave Allen and Russian-born, Canadian-based Danger Man Arslanbek Makhmudov. I didn't make a pick in this fight. I don't have a high opinion of Makhmudov's boxing, and as much as I might like Dave Allen as a person, as a boxer, he's always had his limitations. I didn't trust him enough to get the job done. At the start, it looked a lot like Dave Allen was playing possum, like he just did in the Johnny Fisher fight, to where he's not burning through too much energy, he's not doing too much out there, not really committing to punches, and Makhmudov was the busier fighter of the two, letting punches go. Some are getting in, and some aren't, but he is busier, so he's winning the rounds on activity. Activity alone, as Dave Allen was inching closer and closer, trying to get within striking distance, seemingly playing possum, waiting for the right opportunity to let a big punch go, a big looping right hand go. He tried for it occasionally in the early goings of the fight, but Arslanbek Makhmudov had established an early lead early on because Dave just wasn't doing enough, wasn't doing nearly enough to win these rounds. Made the contest frustrating because whenever Dave did let a punch go and whenever a punch did get in, you could see he's hurting Makhmudov. He has it within his ability to take him out, but he's just not doing enough often enough. Each round, similar to the last, Dave Allen having small moments of success as opposed to the more consistent work from Arslanbek Makhmudov, who Dave Allen managed to put on his back foot, forced him to box, forced him to move. It's telling that Arslanbek Makhmudov was not able to plow through him, mow him down, or walk him down. In many moments in this fight, it's Dave Allen inching forward, trying to get within striking distance, putting Arslanbek on his back foot, and that's what made this so frustrating to watch, that Dave Allen had it within his ability to win this fight, but he sort of just gave it away, playing possum and waiting for the right moment to strike. I think of Dave Allen as a specimen. This is a durable guy who can hold a shot. He's been in there with a lot of big punchers, and he's a big puncher himself whenever he can land a punch, whenever he throws one. Good physical specimen, but lacking so much in so many other areas that he just falls short of the mark. And so he lost a lopsided decision yesterday. I'm not surprised, and I'm not impressed with Arslanbek Makhmudov. More disappointed in Dave Allen because the victory was within arm's reach. You could see whenever he gets in with a shot, whether it's a short left hook or a looping right hand or a salvo of punches, it had a noticeable effect on Arslanbek Makhmudov, but Dave just couldn't sustain it. He couldn't sustain the attack, and so he gave away a lot of rounds. Too many. I suppose they could probably still use Dave Allen as a litmus test for up-and-coming British heavyweights because he is a fan favorite. You saw how many people showed up for this thing in support of Dave Allen, so he can probably keep on fighting. But he has reached his level, and that is the reality of Dave Allen. Over to Arslanbek Makhmudov, who confirms the Anthony Joshua fight will happen next year. He's been saying this all fight week. A victorious Arslanbek Makhmudov has told Boxing News that he will fight another British heavyweight after beating Dave Allen in Sheffield last night. The 36-year-old Canadian-based Russian was a deserving winner against the popular Dave Allen despite the best attempts of the White Rhino at the Sheffield Arena. Makhmudov's right hand contributed to much of his own success, and after 12 rounds, the scorecards of 117-109, 116-110, and 115-111 reflected Makhmudov's dominance. Makhmudov's reputation had taken a knock with 2 defeats in his previous 4 fights. Those losses to Agit Kabayel and Guido Vianello raised question marks over Makhmudov's durability and overall credentials, but last night's win could now lead to a clash against another British heavyweight, Anthony Joshua, according to Arslanbek. Why is Arslanbek so focused on fighting Anthony, who doesn't have a title anymore and is coming right off a loss? It's because Anthony's still worth a lot of money. Whether people like it or not, Anthony Joshua is still one of the biggest draws in all of boxing, not just the heavyweight division, and he's still the money man.
So people are still going to want to fight him, whether he has a belt or not.
Earlier in the week, rumors began circling of a future fight between Makhmudov, 21-2 with 19 knockouts, and 2-time unified champion Anthony Joshua, 28-4 with 25 knockouts. Speaking in his dressing room after last night's triumph, Makhmudov revealed to BN that the fight will happen. I already have a deal with him. We spoke with him on Instagram, he said. Okay, go fight Dave Allen, and we fight next year. He confirmed. Now it's his turn. When Joshua fight next remains to be seen. The 35-year-old has not fought since his crushing loss to Daniel Dubois last year. Surgery to his elbow in May delayed his return, but promoter Eddie Hearn has said that the Londoner is now raring to go and get back in the ring, and later this year, Matchroom could stage their first ever show in Africa, which could feature Joshua in the main event.
Do we like this fight?
As a comeback fight for Anthony? As a rebound fight off the knockout loss to Daniel Dubois? I do. I'll take it. I'll take Joshua versus Arslanbek Makhmudov at the end of this year or the beginning of the next one.
Does Joshua win this fight?
Well, it's one of the more winnable fights that he still can have in today's heavyweight landscape. Think about Arslanbek Makhmudov and how he wasn't able to mow down Dave Allen or plow through him. He wasn't able to just overpower him. He literally had to box.
Move and punch, initiate clinches. He wasn't able to ragdoll Dave Allen, so I don't get the sense that he's going to be able to ragdoll an even bigger, more well-schooled boxer in Anthony Joshua. Remember that Arslanbek Makhmudov was noticeably taller and noticeably longer than Dave Allen. That would not be the case with Anthony Joshua, who has
Height,
generous physical dimensions of his own. Height, length,
power, and a better boxing brain at least than a Dave Allen. Whenever you bring up Anthony Joshua, people like to point out his shortcomings, his drawbacks. Though he is still one of the better boxers in the division today, an Olympic gold medalist and a 2-time unified champion who I think still has enough to beat an Arslanbek Makhmudov en route to a big Tyson Fury showdown. With Tyson Fury rumored to be returning to action in the coming year, an all-British super fight between the Gypsy King and Anthony Joshua could be back on the table. Makhmudov will be eager to spoil those plans if he is called to face Joshua beforehand. Asked how a fight between himself and Joshua would play out, he said, "I'm going to go for the win. Like this night, I go for the win. I try to win and make a good fight. I'm a boxer. What am I going to do? I'm going to box."
managed to come away with the win yesterday. If he were to face Anthony Joshua, I don't think he would be as fortunate. I don't think he would be as victorious. All the shortcomings that Dave Allen has, Anthony Joshua doesn't have. He's not a short, stumpy, stocky heavyweight. He's got generous physical dimensions, good height, good length, good power.
Better boxing brain than a Dave Allen, and a better work rate within the round, I'd say. Certainly better than Dave Allen. Anthony's not just going to play possum and give rounds away the same way that Dave did. The biggest indictment against Anthony Joshua, and what most people hold against him, is his durability. They don't think this guy can hold a hard shot. Maybe that's true to some degree, but that's also true of Arslanbek Makhmudov, who's been stopped 2 times. Stopped to the body by Agit Kabayel, and stopped due to cuts by Guido Vianella. So I would still favor Anthony to beat him if that's what it comes down to. Though it remains to be seen if he will in fact be the guy that Anthony fights upon his return, as Anthony has no shortage of options. That's usually the case when you're the money man. Belt or no belt, Anthony still commands a large audience and a lot of attention. Congratulations to Arslanbek.
Now over to the second Matchroom show we saw yesterday. This one on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, what was Jaron Ennis's triumphant junior middleweight debut against unheralded contender Uisma Lima of Angola.
14-1 going in, having never been stopped, having never been knocked out before, and having fought as high as middleweight. Contest didn't last very long. Just a few seconds into the first round, both boys approached each other, looking to trade punches, and Boots got in with a whopper of a right uppercut, well placed, that heralded the beginning of the end for Uisma Lima. This contest ended before it got to turn into one. That well-placed right uppercut rattled Uisma Lima's cage, visibly hurt. Boots went in for the kill, knocked him down for the first time in the fight.
Uisma Lima tries to shake it off, rises to his feet, at which point Boots jumped on him again, unloaded a barrage of punches, forcing a referee stoppage in the first round.
So far, so good, right? This was as ideal a junior middleweight debut as you could have hoped for, given who he was fighting, that this was an unheralded opponent, so Boots made him look like an unheralded opponent.
It's not like he gets paid by the hour or anything.
The build-up of the fight, I said that Uisma Lima's an aggressive guy, mid-range to inside guy that tries to overwhelm his opponents with volume, and these are the kind of guys that Boots looks good against. Aggressive fighters. The only question for Boots is whether or not his power will carry from 147 up to 154, and it looks like it has, because I reiterate, Uisma Lima has never been knocked out. He's never been stopped. Yesterday was the first time, so that Jaron Ennis was the first to do it is encouraging towards his junior middleweight campaign and whether or not he will be able to stay in character at 154, as he was a rather large and powerful 147.
He looked powerful yesterday at 154, so far so good. That's the most that I can say. A contest that ends this abruptly doesn't leave you with much to reflect upon, least of all when it's against an unheralded opponent.
It's the most that I can say. So far, so good.
Oh my. Hey, Oscar de la Hoya, there's only one man at 154, Virgil Ortiz. Come and get some of this. This is the pound for pound king, and I'm telling you, he's going to destroy everybody. Let's go.
He's going head next. I know he got his fight. I know he focused on his fight, and if you don't win, I'll fight Luma. I'll fight the winner of that. But I want Virgil Ortiz next. And if we can't get Virgil Ortiz next, I heard that Baby Cub was calling me out too. Charlo, he can get it next. Fundora, what's his name? Baccarat, Bartram, the IBF champ, he can get it. Everybody at 154 can get it. I'm missing somebody? Who I'm missing? Xander can get it. Anybody at 154, I'm belt chasing. This is my division. 154 is mine. I'm on tour.
So if Boots is not on the plans for Virgil in his next upcoming fight, if he beats Lubin, who would you then pinpoint in terms of, because you need a marquee opponent for his next fight? I mean, who would be the two other guys that you would pick out?
Mertzalaev, Fundora, Zayas, Abu, anyone with a belt.
Yeah, but are any of those guys realistic options?
Absolutely.
On the other
Absolutely.
Side?
I've noticed you've asked me a lot of questions this week. Everyone's been generally negative. So we're going to put a positive spin on it. I'm the best in the business. He's the best in the business.
Facts.
I'm going to do my job. He's going to do his job.
Facts.
And I've got to do my job because I don't want to miss this opportunity to watch this guy beat everybody. And I'm going to enjoy every moment of watching him become the pound-for-pound number one.
Yes.
To state the obvious, the fight that most fight fans would like to see Boots in next, right away, is the Virgil Ortiz fight, which is contingent upon Virgil's victory over Erickson Lubricant.
Just addressing the fight and the two fighters, Boots has a stylistic edge over Virgil, as Virgil is a mid-range to inside pressure fighter and aggressive one. And what did I just say? Aggressive guys are the kind of guys that make Boots look good. Now, granted that Virgil is a cut above and Uisma Lima.
He certainly is, but he still is a pressure fighter, and Boots is a boxer-puncher, so stylistically, Boots has the edge. Physically, Boots might have the edge there too. What's important to note is that Uisma Lima was a bona fide junior middleweight. This is not a little guy that they brought up.
And Boots was able to stop him just seconds into the first round. That's a strong statement about Boots' power, even if the opponent choice was not so strong. When you consider that Virgil Ortiz has been at junior middleweight for a little over a year and 4 going on 5 fights. And of the 4 fights that he's had, only 2 were against junior middleweights.
The other 2 were little guys that they brought up, Frederick Lawson, Thomas Delorme, whereas the other 2, those were junior middleweights, and those are the guys that Virgil didn't stop, that Virgil didn't knock out.
Sergey Boyachuk and Israel Madrimov. Is it possible that Virgil is not the puncher at 154 that he once was at 147?
Is it possible that at this weight, Boots is actually a bigger puncher because he just fought a bona fide junior middleweight. He just fought one, he just stopped one a few seconds into the first round. Virgil will have his chance to show us what he's got one more time before this year is out with Erickson Lubricant. And it would be encouraging towards Virgil's case if he could stop Erickson.
It's not like he hasn't been knocked out before, he has. He got knocked out just a few seconds into the first round against Jermel Charlo and stopped again years later by Sebastian Fundora. To show us that he's on the level, Virgil needs to stop him. He needs to knock him out. It's not going to be a good look if he doesn't. It's not going to be a good look for Virgil if that fight goes the distance, if he labors, if he struggles, because Erickson has been knocked out before.
I like what's happening. I like what's going on. I even like the hyperbole from Eddie Hearn that Boots is going to do this and Boots is going to do that. It's promotion. It builds fights and it makes things exciting. You want to see if Eddie Hearn is going to be right or not. Jaron Ennis has held up his end of the bargain. Now Virgil Ortiz has to hold up his. Even with that, I'm skeptical as to whether or not this will be the next fight.
I'm pessimistic, though on the premise that it's not, and Boots has to fight somebody else. What's encouraging is yesterday's fight was a WBA interim title fight that lines Boots up for the WBA champion, Abbas Baru. And Abbas Baru is a network and promotional free agent right now. He's not with Vazerman anymore. When that reporter asked Eddie, what are the realistic fights for Boots? Not just Virgil, but, other guys. Abbas Baru is a realistic option. He's not with anybody right now.
That's the fastest route to a title for Jaron Ennis, and I would be thoroughly impressed if Boots could do to Abbas Baru what he just did to Uisma Lima. Now, granted that Abbas Baru is a cut above and Uisma Lima. All the same, if Boots can stop him, that would be impressive. Because Abbas Baru is a standout amateur and the current reigning WBA champion at junior middleweight, a tough customer from what we saw in the Ioannis Telez fight. Not as well known as Virgil Ortiz, but still seemingly having a lot to offer. I think the casuals, of course they're going to want the Ortiz fight more than the Baru fight.
But in the event that Ortiz fight doesn't happen for whatever reason,
I'm more than happy to watch Boots do the dance with Abbas Baru. That would afford him the chance to become a 2-weight world champion against a solid junior middleweight. More solid than the guy that he just fought.
They asked about realistic fights. Abbas Baru is a realistic fight. Bakram Murtazaliev is a realistic fight. These fights can be made for Jaron Ennis.
Bakram is another one. He'd jump at the opportunity to fight Boots Ennis. I'd say he would. So things are fast heating up at 154 towards the tail end of this year, setting the stage for even bigger fights in the coming year.